Hi, this is Joe Suki, and this is my video entry into Microsoft's Dare to Dream Different challenge. I want to thank Microsoft for having this competition and for you for participating and judging it. So here we go. My entry was initially termed a health vest, and it was a vest because with the size of the components and the Tahoe 2 board, I knew that I wouldn't be able to fit everything in a small package, at least for the contest. Obviously, in a production environment, there'd be no problem with that. It would either be like an armband size device or maybe something that would fit in a pouch. The plan is to have 3 different versions of this product. The first one being for indoor training applications, and it could be mobile for like indoor soccer or maybe hockey, things like that, and it could use XB to figure out where someone is in the building. And then also for transmitting the information. And then secondly, for stationary equipment, it could be where someone would slide a card to identify themselves, and then we would take their stats while they're standing there or doing that exercise, and then we'd forward that on, to our back-end system. The second version would be for elderly applications, and that could include things like keeping track of a patient's blood oxygen level and try to alert them before maybe they would faint so they could sit down ahead of time. The accelerometer that's on the board could be used for in the event of a fall. It could catch that and alert help so that someone could come right away to help them. And then also the GPS positioning, we could use that for like Alzheimer's patients where they wear this device, and as long as they're within their facility, they're fine. But if they go off and kind of wander and get out of XB range, then the GPS could turn on and we could start sending data so that we could track down the patient and find them before anything happened. The third version of this product is for outdoor or remote training applications. And the idea is that a coach could monitor a whole team via the web in near real time as this device takes everyone's stats. It uses the GPRS modem and makes web service calls to update those, and so they can be reviewed while the training is going on, or at the end of training you could compare, if someone bicycles a regular route, you could compare results from one to another and see where you're improving or maybe where you need to focus on. So let's start by looking at what makes up the health vest. And obviously for starters we have the Tahoe 2 development board, which I think would eventually go with the Meridian P. It's an excellent board for non-electrical engineers like myself. It was very forgiving, very flexible. It was an awesome board to work on, and just playing with it for this contest, I've come up with a dozen other things to do with it, so it's very cool. Next, there's the eDevice modem, and that's a GPRS modem that allows us to connect obviously wirelessly and make web service calls just as we're roaming. Very cool. Third is the GPS device, which is from Garmin, and it was a very inexpensive device, very easy to use. It was great. And then lastly is the SIMS BCI pulse oximeter, which does a great job. It really sends data fast, and so you have to think about that when you're designing a system, but it really works well. It's very cool. So before we see what all these pieces look like put together, which I'll tell you right now is very nerdtastic, I just want to spend a little bit of time talking about the software and how it's set up. Currently there's 4 panels that are shown, and the user can move from panel to panel. One shows what's going on with the GPRS device. One shows what's going on with the SPO2 device. One shows what's going on with the GPS. And then one is like a summary screen where you can see like everything. And basically, you really find that working on this, you really have to work on being efficient. Working in a Windows environment, there's a lot of best practices that really aren't necessarily efficient enough to use in an embedded environment. So there's this constant struggle, write code that's very clean and reusable, but still have efficiency in mind, all the time. So we've got a thread that worries about connecting to the T-Mobile network, and then it connects to the website, and it makes the web service calls and transfers the data. One of the serial ports I have to share between the GPS and the pulse oximeter, and so I've created this little multiplexer thread that basically turns things on and off so it can share that device. So without any further delay, I give you the prototype for the health vest. You can see that what I used was a hockey jersey with the holes in it. It was easy to fasten stuff, so that way you can see that up in the left shoulder there's the GPRS device. The right shoulder has the Garmin GPS antenna, and then in front is the Tahoe 2 with all the connections and everything. And then you can see over the shoulder is the device that attaches to the ear that is the pulse oximeter. I didn't attach the box that the Tahoe 2 is on the bottom, only on the top. That way I could tilt it up and look at it, and you'll see that in the video. So now here's the video of me wearing this device. I will say that I did this at a time where there was no one else driving around. I think only a few people saw me. But it amazingly, even though it doesn't look that great, it worked really well. The GPS picked up my location right away, and you'll see later on. I'll show you the results that come through from the website, and basically it sends results about every 15 seconds. And it worked really well. So now here is the actual panels that you see on the device, and you can see that the one we're looking at here is the GPRS one, and we show what's going on with the E-device GPRS modem, and we keep track of just packets we're sending and how long we're connected and that kind of stuff. Then on the GPS one, you can see we have your basic information, and then plus what satellites we're tracking to get that information. And then on the pulse one, it's just your pulse. And then if you look here, this is a little application that I wrote that goes against the data that was sent up to the website, and it retrieves it based on the address of the device. And you can see I have latitude, longitude, temperature in the Tahoe 2 specs. It's not converted into Fahrenheit or anything, and then pulse and SpO2. So where do we go from here? I would say that the plan is to refine this, make a second prototype with the Meridian P, and then figure out a bill of materials to see the true cost of it, and then really focus on what the tools are once we have the data. Making something that's cool and slick that people would like to use. The .NET Micro framework I think is awesome. It's a great way for people to be able to quickly prototype in the embedded world, and there's enough .NET there that it's very usable, without getting in the way. Areas for improvement, there were some little differences, but like with the serial port, but it worked really well. Documentation would be great. There were a lot of things that there's embedded pieces that obviously are not part of the .NET framework, and it would be great to see more documentation on those parts. But otherwise, I think the board is awesome. The framework is awesome. I've learned a lot in this process. I've really gotten back into doing some more embedded stuff, and I'm really learning a lot in the process. Really trying to get the electrical engineering skills kind of at least up a little bit. So I appreciate it, and hopefully I'm one of the ones that makes it to the final 5. So thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.